What's up, guys? It's Bradley Overrated. Time to do another Overrated review where I show casual gameplay and talk about a game and give it a grade. And today's game is Dear Esther. And it's a game that was critically well received, and after playing this game and falling asleep twice while playing the game, and no, that is not a joke, I can safely say that this is the epitome of a walking simulator.
One last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
So as you can tell, you play as a very verbose man who has arrived at a deserted island, and he's writing a letter to Esther, hence the name Dear Esther, and you can roll credits now. But that's cool and dandy, and it's fine, and I actually found this story engaging, as you'll find yourself wondering why he's here, who is Esther, who are some of the other names, like Paul, for example, mentioned, and you'll slowly but surely put together the story, and the narrative itself is pretty cool, and it's pretty well done. I was very pleased with the narrative and the story. The problem I have with this game is how you get to the narrative and the story plots. And the way you get to the dialogue, because the whole game is given by the character, the main protagonist himself, and he does these wonderful little monologues. You get all of these monologues by walking up and down hills, left and right, into buildings, by shipwrecks, so on and so forth. You will inquire all of the monologues if you just walk around the entirety of this island. And that is where I have the problem with this game, is because this guy moves at such a slow pace. I get it that he's just walking, and you can kind of figure that he's, as you will find later out in the story, he's a little bit on the not doing so physically well side of things. But all the same, man, maybe you could just do a light trot around the island. Maybe there's a way we can speed you up because you're so dang slow. And while I enjoy this concept of moving around and exploring an island, the pace is just tiresome, which is crazy for me because this game only takes 2 hours to play. And I wish I was joking, but I'm not when I say I fell asleep after half an hour of playing. It was late at night, and after playing this, I was like, okay, I need to take a break. And I went to bed, and then I woke up the next day, and I was near the end of the game, and I just found myself dozing off, though, with the controller in hand, mind you, because of how slow the game is. And then there are some other things I need to bring up about this game. For example, the soundtrack is fine. It's not that great in terms of something I would want to listen to outside of this game, but it does set the tone for the game itself really well. And then the graphics on the island, and anytime you're close by things like the plants and the dirt and the ships, it's nice. I really do enjoy that. But the sky itself and the sea itself, man, that's ugly. It's very pixelated. It's not the best. You can tell it's definitely an indie project when they made this game. But one of the most interesting and negative or positive things about this game is the way the guy narrates everything, because he has a very particular way of explaining the story. I mean, just listen to him right here, for example.
Not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
As you play this game and listen to this man presenting his story before you, you will immediately feel the desire to turn on your fireplace, to become engulfed in the flames as you watch the embers dance before you. They are putting on a show, a puppet show, and you begin to wonder, who is it that holds the strings that pulls them? Why is it so mesmerizing to your eyes to gaze into the eternal abyss of hell? And then, when you have pulled yourself away from the fire's gaze, you'll begin to wonder this. Why the hell is Charles Dickens narrating this story? I mean, seriously, okay, this game is an artsy-fartsy game. And yes, that is the technical term. Artsy fartsy. And I say this coming from a person that is the definition of artsy fartsy, alright? I got an English degree, creative writing. I read all of Shakespeare and Dickens. I read so many classic novels at this point, probably hundreds of classic novels. And no, that is not a joke. If anybody knows what artsy fartsy is, it's your boy right here. And this game is a prime example of artsy fartsy at its finest. And sure enough, when I looked it up, it turns out that it was a bunch of college kids that wanted to make a game, and it kind of explains everything. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just pointing it out to you so you know what you're getting yourself into when you play this walking simulator of a game. And now that I've discussed this game with you, it is time to give this game a letter grade. And yes, I give letter grades because that is the way I go. And A being the best and F being the worst. And I can see why critics love this game. Critics always love the quote-unquote artsy fartsy type of games. But you know what? When I played this game, I was really bored. And yes, the narrative was enjoyable and I didn't hate the story, but I was bored the entire time because there's just not a lot of action here. And by action, I mean anything other than a snail's pace of walking would have been better than what they gave here. It's just slower than dirt, and even though it's only 2 hours to complete the game, I just wanted it to move a little bit faster. I almost felt like it was too long still. So with all that in mind, guys, I give Dear Esther a C+. Still a decent game, and I enjoyed it for the one-time experience, but it is definitely not a game I am ever going to go back to now that I have finished it. And that, my friends, concludes this Overrated review. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this game and you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like or comment. Tell me what you thought about this game. I'm sure there's going to be some people who think this game is absolutely amazing. Those are the people that like the smell of their own butt farts. But hey, you know what? My farts smell pretty good too, man, so I get where you're coming from. And I will see you guys on the next Overrated video. I am Bradley Overrated, out like a trap, and have a great one.